Oh, chat. Hello, hello. Oh my god. G'day, chat. How we going? G'day, William. How are you, mate? How are you? How are you? Good to see you. Mike's on, Jamie. Oh, Ilia Topuria. We're gonna get straight into it. We're gonna go live for an hour. About an hour. William, it's good to see you, man. It's good to see you back around. Yeah, we're going to go live for about an hour. We're going to go through Twitter, look at the news, see what's going on. Talk about Ilia Topuria. Why the hell is he turning down so many goddamn fights? He turned down Alexander Volkanovski in Perth. He says he doesn't want to fight Holloway. So who the hell is he going to fight? He needs to fight somebody. And at what point can you strip a UFC champion for being inactive? So we're going to talk about that. To get right into it, for the channel updates, Topuria is a known bogan. You're absolutely right, William. You're absolutely right, Big Willie. To get back into it with the channel updates, going to go live at UFC 301, all the way from the prelims. Going to make sure that I've actually got the alarm clock set for that one. Plus, going to be updating the channel banner for that as well. And I got out all the predictions today on the channel. So if you want to check out a nice quick predictions video that doesn't go for an hour like other people's prediction videos, go ahead and check out that one. Let's jump straight in to Daniel Cormier, okay? Daniel Cormier is saying he believes that Ilia Topuria's refusal to fight several featherweight contenders is really weird. Ilia is the champ, and the champ, sometimes you have some say with who you're going to fight. I don't know if he has as much say as he thinks he does.
It's weird, right? Like he's not telling us what's next, but he's saying no to a lot of things that can be right now. And I don't know that you can do that as the champ. Is that you need the name that comes from the generation before. Ilya seems to be taking another approach. I don't know exactly what it is, though, because he said he wasn't going to fight Brian Ortega. He said he wasn't going to fight Max Holloway. And now it sounds like he's not wanting to fight Alexander Volkanovski again. Those are the names from the featherweight past. He doesn't seem to want to fight those guys. I don't know when looking at those rankings who would be next. Now he's agreed to fight Max Holloway. He said Max Holloway has something very valuable to him. That's a BMF championship. He'll fight Max, but only if Max's BMF title is on the line too. Ilia Topuria is the champ, and as the champ, at times you have some say into who you're going to fight, when you're going to fight him, when you're ready, and all that. I don't know though if he has as much say in this.
Ilia Topuria wants the BMF title if he's going to fight Max Holloway, which is bloody ridiculous. It's bloody ridiculous. He doesn't deserve the BMF title just because he's the current champion. That's why he has the championship belt. And when you look at Ilia Topuria's run, he was sort of hidden from Max Holloway in his run up to becoming the champion. They sort of sheltered him from Max Holloway. So at what point does he keep saying no to contenders and you can actually just go ahead and strip Ilia Topuria? Like, is it 6 months of inactivity by just saying no to contenders? Is it 12 months of inactivity? Because here's the difference between Ilia Topuria and John Jones. Ilia Topuria isn't injured. He's ready to go. John Jones is currently injured, or says he's injured, even though he can go get absolutely wasted and tackle rugby players whenever he feels like it. But if you're a fully healthy champion that should be good to go, at what point do you just say, listen, mate, it's time for you to not be the champion anymore. We're going to strip you of the belt. He hasn't fought. Ilia Topuria hasn't fought Brian Ortega. He hasn't fought Yair Rodriguez. He hasn't fought Movsar Evloev. He obviously hasn't fought Max Holloway, obviously. He hasn't fought Arnold out. Pretty much Ilia Topuria's entire pretty much Ilia Topuria's entire top 5, almost top 10. He hasn't fought. Did I say ever? He has fought ever. He has fought ever. But there's so many people that he has not fought in his top 5 to be sitting there constantly being like, I don't want to fight them. I don't want to fight them. I don't want to fight them. What have they done? What have they done? I'm like, Ilia, you got rushed to the title, brother. You kind of got rushed to the title because Max Holloway was just destroying that entire division, man. You think you, Alex? Thanks, man. Hey, good to see you, Alex. Good to see you back at the channel, dude. How are you, brother? You think you have to fight Max Holloway if you want to be taken serious as a champ at featherweight? Absolutely, absolutely. Max Holloway is he's almost seen as so good as he was the number 2 champion. Like back at that time when it was Izzy and Whitaker, it was like you had to get through Whitaker to fight Israel Adesanya. And Max Holloway is very much that guy. He is the guy to beat. I don't understand how he can justify saying no to Max Holloway and Alexander Volkanovski and Brian Ortega at the same time. Kind of crazy. Kind of crazy. I mean, it must just be that he's waiting for the Spain card, but, you know, even if they do it at Spain, he's got to fight someone in Spain. Let's have a look at some of the replies. He straight up said Max is next multiple times, but he only said Max is next. He really is the rightful BMF. Max or Ilia? Who are you saying, Alex? Because here he's saying Corey Boncourt is saying he straight up said Max is next. He said it multiple times, but he's only said Max is next multiple times if Max is coming with the BMF belt. The BMF belt, sort of, number one, the UFC are going to absolutely park the BMF belt until Conor McGregor comes back. They Maxi Poo, our little Mexicans. Yeah, Max is 100% a BMF, the BMF, the BMF of the UFC, 100%. Yeah, Max is 100% the BMF of the UFC. But the BMF belt, as much of a gimmick as it is fun. And that belt is going to get parked until Conor McGregor fights Michael Chandler and they see what they want to do with that. Denying Max Holloway a shot at the proper championship, at the proper championship, denying Max Holloway that because he needs to bring the BMF belt and put it on the table is one of the least BMF things you can do, to be honest, Alex. Isn't DC, this is good, from MMA Boxing Casual, isn't DC the same guy who wanted to fight the washed WWE superstar Brock Lesnar? Oh, dude, that's brutal, man. That's absolutely brutal. Everyone knows he's going to get maybe one title defense, just like every other UFC champion in history. There's literally a handful that can defend more than twice. I think Ilia Topuria, if he gets through Max Holloway, can go on a run. I see him being able to outstrike Brian Ortega. I see him being able to get through Brian Ortega's jiu-jitsu on the ground. Really, like, before the BMF fight as well with Justin Gaethje, it was sort of like a who was going to win out of Ilia and Max. It was seemed a lot more even. I think there's a lot of, like, recency bias, and we think that Max Holloway is a lot more dangerous now that we did see him fuck up Justin Gaethje so badly. But it's not guaranteed that Ilia Topuria gets through Max. But if he does get through Max, he can hold the belt for quite a long time. Doesn't matter who he fights, but yeah, this is just Ilia Topuria coach session. He's waiting for the real fight offer. That's why, because they think he's waiting for a BMF fight. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. All right, let's keep scrolling through Twitter and see what's next. There was one other thing that I wanted to talk about today, which was Islam Makhachev thinks that after Dustin Poirier, it's 1 a.m. and I've already been mindlessly scrolling through MMA Twitter. Well, maybe we'll find something good together, Alex. Did you see Islam Makhachev talking about how he thinks that after Dustin Poirier, there's nothing left for him to do at lightweight, which is another I don't know what is going on with the champions at the moment. I really don't. Like, Islam Makhachev has obviously got Arman Tsarukyan, the rematch that he has to get through. And there is the whole idea that last time Islam Makhachev fought Arman Tsarukyan, it was short notice for Arman Tsarukyan. And it was one of the hardest fights of Islam Makhachev's career. So for him to have that bloke now rise his way all the way back to being the number one contender of his division, it makes such a good storyline. Almost like a not as good as like the Sean O'Malley Cheeto Vera storyline, but almost as good. To have him bring himself all the way back to just that level, like he didn't beat Islam, but he's worked himself back to the number one rightful contender. And then for Islam Makhachev to just be like, I don't really have much to do here. Might as well move up and fight Leon Edwards. Another weird thing for one of the champions to say. It's like the Izzy Alex storyline. Yeah, man. Exactly like that. So I think, and also, something else that was coming up with Islam Makhachev is that his title defenses are sort of starting to ruin his legacy. Like, he's got the fight with Cheddarhead. How are you, brother? What's going on, man? Islam Makhachev's title defenses are sort of ruining his legacy a bit. Like, he had the Oliveira win that he won the belt from. Then he's going to have these two... James Cannon, what's up, man? We really took Izzy, Usman, and Volk for granted. We seriously did, dude. Because these champions are just refusing to fight the contenders in their division. It's so strange to me. I don't understand what is going on with them. Especially someone like Volk, who was begging for his division to keep him busy. Islam Makhachev, right? Our poor little Volky poo. I know. It's still heartbreaking to this day. Still heartbreaking. Islam Makhachev, right? He has the fight with Oliveira. Then he has the two fights with Volk. Bloody kicks Volk's head in. I never thought I'd say it, Miss Amanda Nunes. Bro, Alex, even Shevchenko, right? There was this era. You're right. We should put Nunes next to like Usman and Volk and Izzy for activity. But even Shevchenko, like there was just this weird era that we had right around 2019, 2020, where the champs would just fight. They would just book themselves in for another fight. And they do not do that anymore. It's so strange, man. It's so strange. But picture this, right? If Islam Makhachev fights Dustin Poirier and absolutely, like, just ends him, as he probably will, right? He'll probably finish Dustin Poirier in the first or the second round. Then Islam Makhachev is going to talk about moving up to go and fight Leon Edwards. His whole, like, title legacy will be him beating Bobby Green to get a shot at the title, fighting Charles Oliveira, and then like fighting sort of undeserved contenders in his division. Like Volk deserved to move up, fair enough, but Volk wasn't a lightweight. He wasn't a top 5 lightweight. Then he beats Dusty. Dusty doesn't really deserve a shot at the title. He's just getting one because he's available. And then what? He's going to bounce and go and fight Leon Edwards? It kind of like ruins his own legacy as a champion. Brother, remember when Adesanya fight 5 times 1 year? Absolute goat. Absolute goat, Magomed. How come Khabib wouldn't be that active? How come we had to wait for Khabib to fight that often? Answer me that, Magomed. It's good to see you, man. How you going? So yeah, these champions, they need to shut the fuck up and get back in the cage. Do you think if Volk never rematches Do you think if Volk never rematches Islam and lost the same fashion that he did against Topuria, that Ilia would have a valid point for overlooking the division? Do you think if Volk never rematches Islam and lost in the same fashion that he did against Topuria, that Ilia would have a valid point for overlooking the division? I don't think so, James, because Ilia was sort of hidden from Max Holloway. He was like, they didn't want him fighting Max Holloway. They wanted Max Holloway busy with other contenders because he was just chewing through the division before the contenders could even get to the champion. So it was sort of like this unsaid thing that there is killers in the division there that Ilia had being kept away from. And now that he's here as the champion, he needs to step into that role that Volk and Izzy had, where they're doing a fight, they're calling out a contender. They're doing a fight, they're calling out a contender. And it actually works better for the champion because the contenders are going through this like meat grinder of the top 10. And rather than having the entire division chase the champ, it can be the champ focusing on who his next contender is going to be. So it actually keeps the contenders busy, keeps them working, keeps them with quick turnarounds. You can look at the contenders and see which one, might have a little bit of an injury, pick them out, call them out, give them their title shot. How are you, Singer? What's going on, man? So no, dude, I think no, I don't think it would have changed anything. I don't think he should be overlooking the division at all under any circumstances. Cheddarhead. This is what fighter pay does. Once they start getting paid well, they start fighting less and less. I know, mate. Keep them poor. Keep them poor. There should be, Cheddarhead. There should be something in the UFC contracts where, they put them on 7-fight deals, but they put them on you get a win bonus, you get a showing fee, and then you get a win bonus. There should also be something there where those fees are kept super low, like just enough to live, right? But if you get to the end of like a 10 fight contract or a 15 fight contract, if you get to the end of that, then the contracts are super loaded at the back end. So if you keep fighting quickly within the UFC, you will earn more money at the end of your career once we've gotten all those fights out of you, rather than like paying them front up per fight. Because you're right, like once they get some cash in their pocket, they don't want to fight as often anymore. Khabib do EPO. He need break to clean test. Get boob to shrink down. No more trend. Trend bad. Any thoughts? So I can read it. Any thoughts about Costa versus Sean O'Malley? Not Sean O'Malley. Doug, you fucking moron. Sean Strickland. I don't think Costa is going to pressure Sean Strickland enough to beat him. I think with Sean Strickland, you need a lot of forward pressure. And I think Paulo Costa is the kind of guy that likes to wing big, meaty hooks, as Lucas Tracy would say. And that sort of works really well for Sean Strickland. I think Sean Strickland's going to win that fight, man. Who would you bet on to pick? Who would you pick to win that fight, Singer? Let me know, brother. O'Malley doesn't get enough credit for highlighting O'Malley doesn't get enough credit for highlighting Burns, his whole career to a title shot and making the majority of his wealth on the side. O'Malley doesn't get enough credit for highlighting bums. Yeah, his whole career to get a title shot and making most of his wealth on the side for highlighting bums. Yeah, that's true, man. O'Malley is done really well at actually like diversifying himself. I think Izzy has done the same thing as well. Done really well with diversifying himself, so he gets a lot of his money outside of the UFC, which I think we're starting to see fighters do more and more as more and more fighters come over to YouTube. I mean, if I was a high-level UFC fighter, I would be opening up a gym and like using my name to be the lead name in that gym and start working with local MMA talent in the area. You'd also be doing as many endorsements as you can. But yeah, O'Malley has done a great job to get himself right there. And O'Malley's another one of those people that sort of skipped the line of all the contenders. You know what I mean? Like he went straight to Piotr Jan and then straight to a shot at the title. So now it's his turn to work his way backwards through the division. Costa's last 5 fights were trash. Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. He went to a hard decision. He did a close, hard fight with Luke Rockhold. With Luke Rockhold, singer. Luke Rockhold. Yeah, no good. No good. How the fuck is Michael Chiesa still ranked? He cannot be still ranked, is he? Get the fuck out of here. He cannot be still ranked. I thought he straight up retired. How the fuck is Michael Chiesa still ranked? I feel like the UFC holds on to people in the rankings just to book money fights. Alex, what it is, brother, is they will keep someone like Michael Chiesa around in the rankings. They did the same thing with Brian Ortega. They'll keep them around in the rankings as long as possible because what they're doing is they're looking for a young up-and-comer to go ahead and fight them and steal their name and have that name on their resume and keep moving them forward. They really can't take people like Michael Chiesa, Neil Magny. They don't want to take these names out of the rankings until they've sucked every bit of wealth out of them, which is fair because the UFC has invested a ton of money into like making these fighters the names that they are. And then it's also how you grow the names of new up-and-coming fighters coming from underneath them. So it's not so much money fights, it's more just the UFC being clever in how it books things going forward. Cheddarhead, man. Costa did well against Whittaker. I think Whittaker's style sort of works better for Paulo Costa because Whittaker will fight at range, whereas the problem with the Sean Strickland fight is that Sean Strickland will come in nice and close and crowd him. Costa as a brawler, no good. Yeah, Sean keeps the distance and win, brother. Sean will do it by coming in close. Because Costa's such a brawler, it's going to be slapping against the side of Sean Strickland's guard, man. Magomed, why you no save 301, brother? now just looks like a good fight night, not a pay-per-view. Alex, man, I think the pay-per-view is going to be low-key fun to watch. Like, let's steal Anthony Smith's greatest term here, right? On paper, it's kind of a shitty pay-per-view, right? It's the main event, the co-main event are the most interesting fights on it. But as we were like looking at the fight, breaking it down, talking about the entire card, every single one, there's a lot of close fights that could go either way on it. There's a lot of like strikers on there as well. And with fighters like, I don't know why. I do not know why I think this, but with fights like Anthony Smith on the card, it feels like there could be a fun upset. But Magomed definitely should have taken that fight. Magomed Ankalaev 100% should have taken that fight. Brother, I want to fight Pereira, Abu Dhabi. I don't want to fight in Brazil, brother. I need to be able to do all steroid, brother. No testing. Not our own commission, brother, in Abu Dhabi. June 1st, Bivol versus Arthur. More context, please, Singer. What is the worst decision you've seen in recent times in terms of the judging? Ooh, that's a good one. That is a good one. What is the worst decision we've seen in recent? Well, that one that happened just this weekend was horrible. Or was it the Herbert one? But that's not like the worst decision we've seen in terms of the judging. Magomed, number one chicken, brother. Oh, gee, I'm trying to think of like a really like bad decision. Though nothing's coming to the top of my mind right now, man. I'm drawing a blank right now. It's been a long day. It's been a long day. I'll tell you what, man. I'll give you a sidestep one, right? I can't believe how much cheating they allowed Sean O'Malley to get away with during the Piotr Jan fight while that was happening. So I know it's not a decision, but that one did feel like, Jesus, you're just gonna let Sean win? You're just gonna let him win? He's cheating like constantly the whole time, obviously. Fence grabbing, glove grabbing. Like, yeah, it was atrocious. So that's the one that's sort of coming to my mind the most for that dude. Worst decision when I beat Jan. True champion, brother. That was actually the most fair draw they could have called, to be fair, Magomed. That was a proper draw, man. Magomed, number one, chicken. UFC judges are no good. They are just some high school wrestlers. They think it's the same as MMA. Bivol, Arthur for light heavyweight, both for light heavyweight boxing. Right. Both undefeated so far. Nice, man. I don't follow the boxing at all. But cool, dude. Cool. So, sometimes in chat, there are people in here that get right up into the boxing. Magomed, Jan was chewing you up with the leg kicks, man. That's why it was such a fair. I'm gonna move the chat down so I can see everything. That's why it was such a fair draw. That one. That one was a proper fair draw. But yeah. All right, let's move on. Let's find the next thing on MMA Twitter. Now I can't scroll Twitter live because, well, it's fucking Twitter. You know. Oh, Jose Aldo back. Speaking of cheating, Weidman versus via double eye poke was absolutely awful. Yeah, mate. It was. And also Herb Dean this weekend, right? Just allowing Span to knee Guskov in the balls and then giving him the position back. Mason, where did you go the other day, Mason? You were here in chat, and then you just bailed, mate. You didn't say goodbye. If they legalize eye pokes, there wouldn't be an issue. I mean, you're right, Chedhead. If they legalized eye pokes, then there wouldn't be an issue. Dougie, are you ready for a UFC title to come to Perth? I am, brother. I am, mate. We're back in Urseg hard, mate. We're back in Urseg hard. Weidman with the beautiful flying double eye poke. Weidman with the beautiful flying double eye poke puts him away. Yeah, mate. So true. I do think they need to legalize knees to a grounded opponent, though. I'm all down for that. Oh. Yep. Let's talk about this. I just found it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about this. Colby Covington is a fucking pussy. Colby Covington is an absolute fucking pussy. Weidman loves the eye poke. He does, mate. Ferguson versus Nick Diaz was just a rumor. Hasn't been confirmed. Could be happening, Mason. Could be happening, but hasn't been confirmed. Kamaru Usman versus Marvin Vettori. I really like that fight. I like that fight a lot. I think Usman needs that fight. It'd be good to see him get a proper win again. I think he could absolutely out-wrestle Vettori. He could probably... I'm gonna... Usman's more technical than Vettori. Far more technical. I think Usman beats Vettori everywhere, to be honest, Mace. I think he beats him everywhere. I think he beats him on the feet, on the ground. I think Vettori's best skill set is having a thick chin. A chin made of absolute concrete. That's not going to get him far, man. Is Cruz injured? Wasn't he supposed to fight Aldo on this card instead? Cruz isn't injured. Cruz is another one that is just sitting around waiting for a title shot. I don't know what he's doing. I really don't know what he's doing. He's not going to get another title shot. He needs to fight two contenders to be able to get back right into the title picture. It's so wild, man. It's so wild. I don't know why he's just ranking squatting. I mean, he's ranked number 11th, bro. He's ranked 11th. So, like, what ranking are you even squatting on here? You're not even in the top 10 anymore. Wild, man. Dominic Cruz versus Song Yudong. Let's get in there. Like, Song just lost to Yan. Dominic Cruz just lost. Dominic Cruz, Song Yudong, make it. And let's get Song back up and running again. Aldo is back. Yeah, mate. I know. I mean, we're excited for it. I think he's going to win. Colby have good wrestling, brother. Yeah, mate. Colby is not going to be taking down Ian Gary. Ian Gary's takedown defense is too good. And Colby Covington is too scared. Colby Covington's too scared to run in and do a takedown. He's going to be too edgy on the outside, and Ian Gary's just going to piece him up, man. Usman in his prime was stood. Chimaev versus Whitaker. I think Whitaker is going to win that fight. 300 took all the talent away. Yeah, it did, Mace. It did, man. It did. But after this pay-per-view, we're all back on track. Vittoria's chin is refreshed now, and it's never been stronger. Cruz versus Figgy should have been on UFC 300, Mace. I completely agree, man. Why should Colby fight Ian Gary besides potentially gaining fans? James, thank you for putting that in there, man. That's a great comment. Colby Covington hasn't got a single win in the top 15. If he wants to remain relevant, he should do what Justin Gaethje, what Dustin Poirier, what real contenders do, what Jared Cannonier is doing. He should go and fight someone in the rankings that has a big name and a big fan base and is a dangerous fight. If Colby Covington wants to stay relevant and be within that striking range of a title, this is one of those fights that make you go, oh shit, you're for real. You're serious. That's why Colby Covington should fight Ian Gary. Ian Gary's right there in the rankings. Colby Covington's right there in the rankings. It's the fight that makes sense. Which Usman opponent had the best chin? Ooh, which Usman opponent had the best chin? Oh, that's good. Tyron Woodley. But that was a wrestling match. So you got to be like, because the thing is, right, like, Usman didn't start his striking until his championship run. Everything before that was wrestling. So maybe Tyron Woodley, man. Maybe Tyron Woodley. They should have done Cruz versus Garbrandt at 300. Absolutely right, Chad. They should have. They should have. Can't count him out. Prefer. Oh, yeah. I have to give it to Yudong. Yudong's always in there. Never pull Yudong out. Never pull it out. Just see what happens. Have fun with it. No, Yudong is he's a fucking brilliant fighter, man, and I like him versus Cruz next. Mason, or they should have. Yep. They should have done or Figgy versus Yan because of Cruz versus Figgy. They should have. Yeah, absolutely right. Rob Font versus Chris Gutierrez. I like that one too, Mace. I like that one too. What is this stream title about? Before, when we started the stream, we were on to a different Twitter story. It is about Ilia Topuria is just turning down all of his contenders. He's turned down Max Holloway. He turned down Volkanovski for Perth. He doesn't want to fight Brian Ortega. At what point, when you've got a perfectly healthy champion, Professor Morbius, do you just say, if you don't want to fight for the title, you don't get to have the title? You're fucking stripped for inactivity. Nolsan Rozaboyev versus Joaquin Buckley. I know, mate. Scary for Buckley to take on a red-hot up-and-comer like that for someone new. Rozaboyev, is he the real deal, or is he another overhyped dude coming out of that region? We're going to find the fuck out. I just watched back Rozaboyev's fights, and the dude cracks. But so does Buckley. It's going to be sick. I'm pumped for that one, man. Derek Lewis is is fighting some. Derek Lewis is fighting some fat nobody. That's what fat heavyweights are all about, man. That's what Derek Lewis's career has come to. They paid him a huge amount of money, Mason, so that he wouldn't go over to the PFL because they do not want the PFL to have Derek Lewis because then the PFL has Francis and they have the one person that's beaten Francis in MMA. So they paid Derek Lewis a whole bunch of money and now they just put him in there against Cairns. Kamaru Usman in his prime was good in 2021. Kamaru Usman is good, is good. Yeah, Kamaru Usman is still very good. This whole conversation of Kamaru Usman being washed, not true or fair at all. At all. Like, he pushed He pushed Khamzat Chimaev to his very limits on 11 days' notice. Right? Impressive. Every gatekeeper needs to fight the prospects. They can't keep getting infinite title shots. Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly. And that's where Colby is now. I deserve title shot. I talked to Dana on UFC 5 cover if champion. No one buy UFC 5. Lowest selling UFC game of all time. Usman opponent with the best chin was probably Colby. Yeah, he got clipped by Masvidal and then right back up and fought with a broken jaw. Yeah, that is fair. That is fair because that's the one where like Usman was really coming into his power punching, James. And yeah, he hit Colby so fucking hard. He got knockdowns, he broke his jaw, but he just stayed in there. That was probably like the culmination fight of Kamaru Usman's striking mixed with a face that received all that damage. I didn't hear that he turned down Max. What the fuck does he want? Professor Morbius, he wants Max Holloway only if Max Holloway puts the BMF belt on the line as well. Luque had Woodley spinning around the octagon like a ballerina. Topuria scared of Movza. Topuria scared of Movza. Movza grapple. Grapple win fight. I tell you, brother. Derek Lewis is rich. He is now. Ngannou versus Lewis was so bad. One of the worst fights in history. Almost like Rose Namajunas Esparza. Almost that level of bad. Zhang or Suarez? Who wins? Zhang. Weili Zhang. She is brutal. Brutal. I won't confidently say Usman isn't washed, but it's more about seeing him fucking walk than it is about seeing him fight. It's more about, yeah. Like, you're worried about his knees. I get it. I understand that. But he looked fucking good against Khamzat on 11 days' notice, not in his weight class, against another wrestler. He looked fucking good, man. And Khamzat is like either Professor Morbius, either Khamzat Chimaev is completely overrated or Usman is washed. Which one? That is the sort of thing that goes in a poll. That's a perfect poll question there, chat. Look at that. Beautiful. When you come to Dagestan, I host fight night. Uncle Backyard. We fight a donkey. Brother, if you're ever in Eastern Europe and some dudes come up to you, no fucking mustache, all beard, hey, do you want to come to my uncle house and watch a donkey fight? We'll have bath together. You say no. You say no straight away. Zhang Weili is the new Amanda Nunes, future double champ. James, I like where your head's at. I don't disagree with you, but I do think you're forgetting Kayla Harrison. Although it's not like Kayla Harrison can cut any more weight, is it? But they might bring back the 145-pound division and have nobody in it, just like they did for Amanda Nunes, just to say that she's a double champ. I think you're forgetting Kayla Harrison. Colby is ducking Ian. He is, mate, and it's fucking embarrassing. It is really, really embarrassing. I don't know how Colby Covington can have a single fan left. And I mean that 100%. I mean that 100%, Gabe. I don't know how anyone can be a Colby Covington fan. I went to eat at the same place that Masvidal sucker punched Colby Covington in Miami. Sick, man. Did you find his tooth on the ground? Colby does not have enough star power to duck Ian Gary. Yeah, dude, which is why the entire MMA community should be like, remember last year when it first came out about how much of an Ian Gary truly was. And we all just bagged him for like 2 months straight. It was just 2 months of every content creator on YouTube giving Ian Gary shit. That's what needs to happen now to Colby Covington. He fought Leon Edwards and barely threw a punch and then called out Wonder Boy and then called out Ian Gary with these high school stipulation bullshit that Ian Gary's never going to do. And now he's ducking Ian Gary. It is so fucking embarrassing. I don't know how he's not getting more hate. It's wild to me. No, both can be true. I'm not voting. Fuck. I can't force you to vote, bro. Fair enough, Morbius. I'd rather see Zhang fight Grasso for a double champ than a Shevchenko trilogy and the whole season of Tough. Yeah, they're burning Tough, dude. They're burning Tough. Alex, today on Twitter, Paddy Pimblett offered to do Tough. He said he would love to do Tough with Renato Moicano. Could you imagine that? We could have Paddy Pimblett, Renato Moicano, Tough, and have that instead. We could have Colby Covington, Ian Gary on Tough, and have that instead. We could have had Alex, my brother in Christ. We could have had Dricus du Plessis and Israel Adesanya on Tough instead. All of those options would have been better, dude. All of those options. You don't think either is right? Fair enough. I only say Usman is washed because his knees are destroyed. It's easier than saying Hamzat is overrated. I get it. But his knees are so bad, James. They popped during the practice session that he was having with Gaethje on the mat. Fair enough. But his knees are also so okay and manageable. Or have you guys? Let me know what you think about this, guys. You guys go to the gym. Do you have any like injuries around your body that you've had for years? Bad back, bad shoulder, shin splints. You've had these injuries for so long, but you're not going to stop going to the gym because you don't want to turn into a fat cunt. So you keep going to the gym, but you just learn how to work around them. So Usman's knees might be so bad that they're popping on the mat when he's just training with Justin Gaethje. But he has gotten his career to such a good point that he can work around it to where he can hold down the wrestling against Chimaev with 11 days notice. Do you get what I'm saying? Like you keep going to the gym and keep working around that injury and eventually you come up with like a new system. Dougie, my knees are destroyed. That's why I know it's over. Fair enough. I'm probably just talking out of my ass then. Because like I have a shit shoulder and I'm like, I keep going to the gym. We keep working on it. But yeah, I get what you're saying, man. Okay, let me catch up. I don't think they're both absolutely true. Usman is just past his physical prime, and Hamzat is an untouchable smash machine. Mobius, I think what you've done there is find the correct center line. The truth is probably somewhere in the middle, man. Mason, Ian is just a confused kid. Yes, he is, and he's being taken advantage of by a succubus. Magomed, I see Ian Gary wife in Dagestan uncle backyard. She fighting donkey. I added that part in, but it's still funny. How is Colby still popular? I really don't know, Mace. I really don't know. Shavkat versus Gary. Sick fight. The UFC aren't going to do it. It'll knock out one contender in a division where they need to have two contenders in case Bilal Muhammad becomes a champion. But Gabe, in any other, like if that was in lightweight, where there was a backlog, that's the sort of fight that they would make. But because there is a chance that Leon Edwards because there is a chance that Bilal Muhammad could be a champion, they need to make sure that he doesn't stay champion for long. So they need to have contenders to churn through there. You are wise to keep your distance. Ankalaev will beat Pereira. Maybe. People really downplay how good Pereira's takedowns are. Takedown defense is. His takedown defense is really good. I feel like all he does every single day is work with Glover on his takedown defense. We are pretty much at a 50-50 on the poll, so let's wrap that one up. Literally anything better anything is better. Yeah. Than Shevchenko versus Grasso. Yeah. Yeah. If it was 2 years ago and the coaches were Izzy and Alex, it would have been crazy, dude. Mate, Izzy and Alex could still do tough, and then just have the fight up at light heavyweight. Just give Izzy a fight at light heavyweight. What's worse, Alex? Giving Israel Adesanya a fight at light heavyweight now, or giving him yet another title shot in his own division without fighting a single contender? Especially when Sean Strickland is right there and deserves an immediate rematch. Just saying, bro. Just saying. I will beat Pereira from Magomed Ankalaev. I will beat Pereira. I do EPO. My grappling is strong. I take down, I crush sniff. Pereira cry. I don't know, man. I don't know. Him and Glover, they have been working takedown defense. You know, Lakowitz had a big problem taking him down. People have tried to take him down. Choose one matchup for Tony Ferguson that guarantees he retires with a win impossible challenge. James. Nick Diaz. Nick Diaz. Tony Ferguson does not quit. He does not quit. No matter how bad it gets, he keeps going. Nick Diaz. I don't know why he wants to come back. I really don't, man. I really don't know why he wants to come back. But if he does want to come back, the Tony Ferguson-Nick Diaz fight kind of makes sense. And it is a fight that Tony can win. That's another perfect one. Human Made, what's up, brother? How you going, man? It's good to see you again. Tony would kill Nick Diaz. I think he would too, mate. I think he would too. Dustin will KO Makhachev in the end of the second round. Human Made. Funny that you bring this up, brother, because there was footage released of Islam Makhachev working the hands. And I've got a crazy fucking theory. Might do a whole video on it, breaking it down. But the Dagestanis have actually started to implement a lot more standing to their overall MMA game because they have success with the striking because people are so scared that they're going to get taken down. And with the whole world glazing how good Islam Makhachev did against Volkanovski, there is a good chance that he will want to stand bang with Dustin Poirier. Just like Khabib wanted to stand and bang with Conor, how Khabib wanted to stand and bang with Gaethje. Towards the end, like this era, they do want to stand and throw hands. If Islam does that and makes that mistake, there is a chance that Dustin Poirier will fucking sleep him. There is a chance of that happening. The dangerous thing will be, do not chase him to the ground if you get a knockdown. But if you do not chase him to the ground, then Islam might realize the danger that he's in and then might just go back to father plan and spamming takedowns. It's pretty interesting. Pretty like you could play a scenario in your head to see which way it goes, man. Tony would kill Nick Diaz. I think he would. Didn't Nick Diaz say that Conor wasn't on his radar because Nate fought him? Don't they do? That's true. They don't play soggy seconds with each other. Yeah, that's true. That's true. They do weird shit like that. They like claim fighters for themselves. But I don't know. You never know. Things might have changed. Like Nick Diaz is meant to be like a more mature. I don't fucking know. But yeah, you're right, man. You're right. Magomed Ankalaev. Best tough is me and Volkan Ozdemir. Oh my god. What a horrible season of tough that would be, Magomed. He teach Rashel good fight. We do final in Dagestan. We have 250 people arena with speaker system. Speaker system is rolled up cardboard boxes with children yelling through them. Good system. Never break. Magomed. Oh, shit. I would say the same from Cheddarhead. I would say the same, but I'm diving into Nate Diaz's guillotine and tapping. I would say the same, but him diving into Nate Diaz's guillotine and tapping makes me hesitant. You would say the same. Which one? Which one are we talking about? You talking about Nick Diaz diving into Nate Diaz's? I would say the same, but him diving into Nate Diaz's guillotine and tapping would make me hesitant. Who's he? Let me know, Chet. Who are you talking about? Human made. Islam will be too comfortable and overconfident and get hurt with a Dustin counter. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, there is a real chance that he's going to stand and bang with him. Real chance. Jorgen, how are you, bro? Good to see you again, man. Nick would big brother him. I don't know, man. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think Nick is being too retired and too vegan for too long. James, what's up, dude? Islam's coaches told him to stand and bang in his only professional loss. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Besides Father Plan. So true, man. Oh, yes, I'm with you, Cheddar. Yeah, you're right. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, the decision making. He did throw himself into it. Yeah, dude. Oh, fucking hell. I totally forgot about the end of that fight. He put himself in there. Yeah, you're right. Fucking Nate Diaz. Jesus, man. What do you do with these fighters? Like, that's why when we do like when I do prediction videos, I will literally have to say like, if they bring their fight IQ, this should happen. But fighters are fucking morons. Ah, you're all gonna be shook when Dustin opens that fight by ass scooting and looking for leg entanglements. He'll have evolved past just jumping the gillies. Professor Morbius, what we want to see is Dustin Poirier come running out of the gate and just throw an Imanari roll straight away. Just unhidden, a full-on, if it's Bellator 2017, fucking Imanari roll. Straight out of the fucking go, man. Tony would fight weird like he did against Nate with no killer instinct and too much respect. Yeah, Joe Hogan. It'd be like Tony was fucking around in video game mode. Like just a glorified sparring session. And then somehow Nick Diaz would end up getting the win. But five people, we voted, we think Tony Ferguson still wins that fight. So that's who I reckon would win it. I do still think Tony Ferguson would win that fight. But yeah, it would be one of those weird press conferences where they like have all the respect in the world for each other. Very strange. Nick Diaz versus Matt Brown is better than Nick Diaz versus Tony Ferguson. No, not really, human. Not really, man. Matt Brown has stayed competitive. Matt Brown has stayed active. I know so has Tony, but Tony's losing streak is just so phenomenal. It's so phenomenal. Plus, you got to consider the name value of the fight. You know, like who wouldn't want to see that fight? Or everyone. When that fight gets announced, if that fight's real, go get your fucking grey tap out beanie off the shelf. You know, go get your grey tap out beanie off the shelf. Chuck it on. Just pretend like we're still on Fox. Get Mike Goldberg back to call the fight. Just have a good bloody time. You know what I mean? It's one of those kind of fights. Whereas like the Nick Diaz versus Matt Brown, it's sort of like Matt Brown is still a real MMA fighter, which is kind of fucked up to say. But do you know what I mean? Like Tony's been on such a bad losing streak that it's sort of like the meme fight that we all want to see. When Matt Brown sort of the age feels right, but he feels too serious. Which is like I'm talking about Tony Ferguson, guys. That's fucked up to say. That is fucked up to say. You know what I mean? Tony Ferguson was Tony Ferguson, El Kukui. And now I'm like, oh, Matt Brown's a bit of a step ahead. That's fucked up. I've been trying to think of the proper top 5 greatest of all time list. What is yours? Mighty Mouse. John Jones. GSP. Khabib. You do at some point have to start thinking about Holloway. At some point, you've got to start looking at Holloway. Kind of fucked up what he's done. Kind of crazy. Kind of crazy. Magomed Ankalaev. How much UFC pay-per-view buy with me versus Nikita Krylov do? We do Bilal versus Roman Kopylov co-main event. I want this once become champion. I tell Dana. Magomed, that would actually do negative pay-per-view buys. No one would buy that. People would disconnect their fight pass. The UFC would find their first loss ever. When you see Ryan Dustin, when you see Ryan Hall in Dustin's corner, you know that it's fucking on, boys. You know who to bet on. James, all right, lightweight, welterweight, middleweight. Who do you see becoming champion who hasn't held the belt before? At lightweight, who do I see becoming champion that hasn't held the belt before? I hate to say this. I do. I think Gamrot can beat Oliveira. I think if Chandler loses to Connor, they probably give him Gamrot as well. So I can see Gamrot being the one that could probably be the next champ that hasn't won a belt so far. And then in maybe another 4 or 5 years' time, Benoit Saint Denis. Let me keep going. Welterweight. Oh, it's going to be Shavkat. It's going to be Shavkat. Absolutely. Where are you now? Middleweight. Middleweight's hard, isn't it? Because everyone sort of had a crack at the title. But you're not saying who hasn't had a crack at the title. You're saying who hasn't held the belt before. So, either Cannonier. I could see Cannonier. I can see Israel Adesanya sleeping Dricus du Plessis. But then they're not going to do. They're not ever going to give Jared Cannonier another shot at the title because he's too old. So maybe Brendan Allen, bro. Maybe Brendan Allen, because everyone else has sort of held the title up there. I don't see Imavov doing it because Imavov hasn't got a set of balls. He hasn't got the guts to push. So yeah, shit, man. Maybe Allen. No, fuck, that's a hard one, dude. Maybe Allen. Or Cannonier. I could see Tony trying to shake. I could see Tony trying to shake a hand up to every single strike, and Nick lighting him up with pillow punches while he does it. Fucking hell, yeah. Like every time they exchange like a soft, almost what's the word I'm looking for? Like sparring session with each other, and then they're like, "That was good. That was a good exchange." Like it wasn't. Tony's done, brother. Say goodbye. Go be a car mechanic. Yeah, I know. It's sad, man. It's sad. They need to give Tony an unranked, out of shape featherweight so we could just see him win one fight and then he can retire. I know, it's sort of crazy, Cheddarhead, that as dumb as the Nick Diaz fight is, kind of makes sense. It kind of makes sense. Like that's the level that we're at now with Tony. Tony should fight Chris Weidman. Loser retires. He loves wearing shades indoors. There's nothing to lose. Let him fight with glasses. Tony versus Clay Guida. I'm down for that. Or Tony versus Jim Miller. Want a fight like this? Especially now that Jim Miller, he just lost another 10 years of his life against Bobby Green. Maybe Tony versus Jim Miller, guys. I've been going for an hour, so we're going to go for another 5 minutes. Another 5 minutes, and we're going to get out of here. Tony should fight Manuel Fiorot. Maybe not though. Maybe not. That's how bad things are. Mighty Mouse, GSP, Jones, Anderson Silva, Nunes, Alex. We can't be putting Nunes on the greatest of all time list. We can't be. We just can't be. Her competition level was not that high. We can't be. But then people say the same thing about Mighty Mouse. So maybe we can. But there's I don't know, mate. Oh, geez, I don't know about that. Mate. I'm going to have to really have a good think about that. Give Tony Ricky Glenn. Oh, Jesus. Everyone shook of Shavkat. Hey, Mo, what's up, brother? Good to see you, man. How are you, dude? Except JDM. JDM's the one that's going to have a go. I grapple Shavkat. He's strong. Shavkat beat Leon with wrestle. I think he does. I think he beats Leon Edwards with the wrestling. I think he beats Bilal with the wrestling as well and the pace. JDM called him out. Yeah, JDM's the only one that isn't scared of Shavkat. Hamza at 185. Ooh, to hold the belt. Nunes lost to Pena. I know. I know. I know. I know. I know. And then, like, they put her up there. So Alex is putting her up there because it's Amanda Nunes. Champ. But she was champ of a dead division. You know what I mean? She was champ of a dead division. So I don't know, brother. I don't know. Yeah, Chimaev. No, actually, Cheddarhead. I don't. No. I don't see Chimaev. I don't see him becoming a champ. I don't see him having. I don't see Chimaev having the knockout power to get him past his low gas tank. And at that level, right, everyone at 185 has got decent grappling, decent takedown defense. Like, the chances of Chimaev finding a submission in the first 2 rounds all the way up to getting a title shot and then winning said title shot, I don't see it. I don't even see how he's going to go over 25 minutes. It's going to be phenomenal if he doesn't gas out against Rob. That'll be the biggest win. Like, if he comes away in a hard-fought decision over 25 minutes against Robert Whittaker and he loses that fight, but he looks good for the entire 25 minutes, that will be a win for Khamzat Chimaev. That alone will be a win. Because then this narrative of his gas tank will go away and he can actually start to build some hype around him again. So, yeah. Disagreed, Cheddarhead. Cannonier needs to rub his crystals together on a Tuesday afternoon. Maybe Hunter will sneeze his name. I mean, Morbius, Cannonier fucked up Vittori, didn't he? Like, he really fucked up Vittori in a pretty entertaining fight. So the problem with Cannonier is, man, he's got to put together like 2 or 3 more fun fights like that. But the motherfucker is like, he's fucking like 45 years old. Like, I don't know if he has the time to put together that many wars to convince Hunter Campbell that he's entertaining anymore. I think he's like truly done. Bobby Green versus Paddy Pimblett. Who wins? Bobby Green, bro. Bobby Green. Paddy Pimblett gets hit a lot. A lot. And I think Bobby Green pieces him up, man. Would have been a sick season of Tough as well. Those two would have been great shit talkers. If Nunes is a GOAT, then Pena must be a Dagestani. No offense, Uncle. Nunes can't be a GOAT. It has been spoken. Is Nunes on the top 5? She can't be. She can't be. I would consider her the female GOAT. That's why I put her on that list. Yeah, no, that's fair enough. I could see that. I can see her being the female GOAT, yeah. But I just think when you take like a top 5 of all time, yeah, I can't put her on that list. I can't put her on that purely because like the top 15 of all time is so thick with so many wars underneath their belt that like it makes it hard. It would have been good for Nunes' legacy, Alex, if she had put on a war with Cyborg instead of like just starching her. And also, if Kayla Harrison can continue to make the weight, she is going to absorb Nunes' legacy real quick because she isn't having like windmill swinging shots against people. She's taking them down and beating the living piss out of them. She like embarrassed Holly Holm. And now Holly Holm has become a very competent version of an MMA fighter. She's become essentially a female Wonder Boy. Like, her grappling has been a strong game lately, you know? And look what Harrison did to her. Fucking crazy. Demetrius Johnson would destroy Pereira in a BJJ match. Maybe. Yeah, if it's like forced to become on the ground. Pereira became a black belt 2 weeks before DJ. Get the fuck out of here, really. Pereira shouldn't be a black belt. We haven't seen him work on that. Oh, yeah, it was in the cage, right? And Dana didn't put the belt over him, and he didn't even use any jiu-jitsu. It's so weird when they do that, man. Give them a belt, like, give them a jiu-jitsu belt, and, like, they didn't show off any jiu-jitsu. So strange that they do it on that platform. Why do you think Dagestan have best fighter inbreed? Do you think Azamat Mazakhanov can become champion? My favorite fighter. Good grappling. No, it takes more than just grappling these days, brother. People know grappling now. It takes more than grappling. We're in the era. This might be why we're seeing so many contenders not so many contenders, so many champions like change and roll over one another. Like why we're seeing such a high turnover of champions, because it's sort of getting to that stage now where just one skill set doesn't get you a belt or doesn't let you hold on to a belt. It's such a mixed game now that like you've got to be good at every single thing across the board to be able to hold on to it and defend it over a long period of time. That's something to think about. That's something to think about. Jared did turn 40 this year. Maybe he just goes back to heavyweight where he's a young prospect and fraud checks some of the fat boys. Yeah, but the top five, the thing is, Mo, the Professor Morbius, the top five at heavyweight is so like, what you're saying is he sleeps a bunch of fat guys, and he does. But the top five at heavyweight is kind of well rounded. Like, if they take him down, it's over for him at heavyweight. It's absolutely over for him. Hot take. Connor on the GOAT list because of what he does for the sport. If you're putting Nunes on the GOAT list because she's a female and she's the female GOAT, it's the sort of fair conversation that you can have. Like, what is the GOAT? Are we talking pound for pound skill level GOAT? Then no. But if we're talking about, like, what made the sport what it is, Nunes deserves to be on that list because she did bring in so many women into the sport. But then so does Connor because he really fucking took the sport to a whole new level. Whole new level. All right, boys. You're right, bro. It's time to head. Thank you so much for jumping in on this stream. If you want to know when I go live and get notifications for it, there is a Discord link right here in the description of this live stream. You can go to the Discord. You don't have to get involved with all the tremendous shit talking. You can just set it to notifications. I'm going to be going live for the entirety of UFC 301 all the way from the prelims. I know there's other streamers to jump onto during the live events. We're all out here streaming. So if you want to pop in and say hi during any sick knockouts, during the Usyk fight, obviously he's an Aussie. I'm going to be backing him pretty hard. Or before the Guru goes live, pop in here and say hi. Full prediction video is out now. There is going to be a new video out tomorrow. Might be around why Colby Covington is a bitch and how he's ducking people. Could be around Islam Makhachev thinking that he's done in a division when he has only fought one person in his top five. There's going to be a video tomorrow. Check that out. And until then, I will see you all next time. Thank you so much for hanging out with me on today's stream. Have a good night. Have a good day wherever you are. I'll chat to you guys at least on Saturday night when the fights are on. Peace, boys. Stay